Okay, we will start our post-race press conferences for tonight's 7th annual Buckle Up in Your Truck 225, and we're here with the runner-up, driver of the 99 Chigo Beat the Heat Chevrolet, and that's Brandon Jones. Brandon, matched a career best, runner-up finish, really close there at the end. Can you maybe talk about those closing laps and trying to catch the four?
Yeah, I'm dying for a win right now for sure. So we definitely wanted it. I was trying everything I could possibly do to get around the four at the end. I was trying to play a couple mind games with him. I know he was, they were in his ear telling him, where I was running at, and having him trying to make me follow him throughout the straightaways and stuff, trying to slow my runs down. So, eventually there I finally started just holding my line. And you see, him trying to move around stuff and trying to mess us up a little bit. So it was all fun and games for sure. I enjoyed it. It was a great truck so far. I think it shows a lot about a team that can go from running a couple of races throughout the year to competing with the best team. I feel like in the truck series right now. So I was tickled to death, pumped about it tonight. Just wish we could have ended up in victory lane where the four was. But all in all, great day for sure. Thanks to Shigo for coming on board, and hopefully they'll have a couple more with us.
Good stuff. Thanks, Brandon. Questions for Brandon? Go to
Bob Hawkers, ESPN. Just how effective was Bell kind of breaking up your draft so you couldn't get to him?
Yeah, the biggest thing was in the corners right now, just trying to be able to make passes. Every once in a while, he'd take the nose off or air off my nose, and I'd get just a little bit tight behind him and just couldn't actually complete the run right there at the end of the corner. So nothing really hurt me on the straightaways, but the corners is where I was getting affected.
Caleb Whistler, Speedway Digest. How much did the groove widen out after the rain and after you started running laps on the track?
It was definitely one groove. I feel like right in the bottom. You need to be right on the yellow line right there on the very bottom. So I didn't move around at all really during the race. You could run a little bit early on. You could start too wide and be pretty decent right there on the top. But as far as that, nothing really was moving up too much.
Claude Thompson, Cincinnati Enquirer. After 7 cautions, what's your thoughts about running on the Kentucky Speedway after the repavings?
Everything held up pretty good. Tires did very well. Racing wasn't too bad, aside from the cautions. Started out getting a little annoying there towards the end, but it smoothed out. I felt like after all the stages got complete, we started running a couple laps there and got some green flag stuff in. So once we got rolling, I felt like I enjoyed it.
Any more questions for Brandon? Go to Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. Brandon, what did you think of the restart violation, and did you think your night was killed at that point?
I didn't really know. It was somewhat early on there. We were 7th, I think, at the caution, and last minute they called us outside. So I don't know there. I'll have to go back and watch everything and kind of discuss with everybody. So I haven't seen it. It's kind of hard to tell from my perspective. I can't see all around me there when the caution comes out and don't exactly know where everybody is. But I do know we were riding 7th for about 4 laps in a caution. So I don't know. I don't really know what the penalty was, but I think we ended up where we needed to be there at the end. I think we were in position.
Anything else for Brandon? All right, before we go to Brandon, let's just introduce our third place finisher today, driver the number 24 Fraternal Order of Eagles Chevrolet, and that's Justin Haley. Justin, this is your career best third place finish. Tell us about your run and the career best finish tonight at Kentucky.
It's late. It's way past my bedtime, but no, we had a good night. We've been struggling on the mile and a half because I'm pretty new to them, and we've always been on the air of loose on restarts. So we snugged the truck up before the race today, and that way I could be pretty aggressive on restarts, and it paid off. So we just stayed up there. We had a good strategy, just trying to go for a win there, and had a good night.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. All right, we'll open it up to both of these gentlemen. We'll go in there.
Aaron Beard and Kicking the Tires. Brandon, it's been kind of a difficult season for you in the Xfinity Tour. Is there anything you can garner from a run like this in the Truck Series? Maybe some momentum, some positive vibes, anything?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a momentum builder. Even when I, won an ARCA race earlier this year at Michigan, that was a momentum builder. So just running up front, running a contend for wins, that's pretty big for sure. Tomorrow's going to be a whole nother game changer, I'm sure. Cars act a lot different than the trucks act. A little bit more competition as well. So there's a lot to throw in there for sure for tomorrow. But I've learned a little bit, I think, today for sure. I take away something every single race, something I've learned, something new every time. So I think I definitely can apply a little bit to tomorrow, restart some stuff there, and where exactly to run on the track since they just repaved it, kind of going in blind.
Anything else for Brandon or Justin? Any questions for Justin at all? Okay. Brandon, Justin, thank you so much for coming in. Congratulations on a great night.
I'm curious about this bedtime thing for these guys. These are young guys. What's up with that? That's it, man. I'm 20. I'm a veteran.
We are here with the race-winning team of the Buckle Up in Your Truck 225. That's the driver and crew chief for the number 4 Kyle Busch Motorsports Toyota. The winning driver, Christopher Bell. Winning crew chief, Rudy Fugle. We'll kick it off with you, Christopher. This is your 3rd win of the season, picking up your series best 3rd win and also series best 19th playoff point. So setting yourself up really well as the playoffs come here in about a couple months. So maybe just talk about that and your race tonight.
Well, the playoff that's what matters. So that's kind of what me and Rudy set out to do at the beginning of the year, was to accumulate all those points to make it as easy as possible for us to transfer to Homestead at the end of the year. As far as the race goes, it was extremely up and down. With the repave and the green racetrack at the beginning, I think everybody was kind of didn't know what to expect. But the track had a lot of grip right off the bat, and it was really fast, a lot of draft runs. A lot of dirty air down in 3 and 4. Pretty tough to pass. And once I got back there in traffic, we were kind of mired back there till Rudy started throwing his magical strategy at it and got us out front. And then our Tundra was fast enough, we were able to hold him off.
Thank you, Christopher. Can you tell us that magical strategy, Rudy?
It's just you just go for it sometimes. So it's the way it goes. Really good crew of guys, really good tire guy, really good engineer, and a full crew going up and down pit road, checking tires, seeing what we can do, counting how many greens are on the tires. See how we ran a ton of total laps on our lefts, but green laps not so much. And then just a balanced truck and a driver taking care of the stuff, and it makes it easier.
Great, thanks guys. Any questions for Christopher and Rudy? Go up, Bob.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Rudy, were you aware of the trouble that Kyle was having on his pit stops, and was there any concern that your team might have similar trouble getting? They're having trouble getting I want to say it was the right front off.
Yeah, that's common up and down pit road at a place like this where the noses are pinned. So it comes down to that being a 4th truck and some different people and just not having it checked out all the way. It's just flat out that's the deal. That's on me a little bit, having to go down there, and I should have made sure their stuff was right. We check ours and make sure it was going to be fine, and so I'll take a little bit of the blame for that. It's on me. So we saw it on TV, and we knew we were okay.
Go ahead, Claude.
Me first?
Yep,
Okay.
all you.
Claude Thompson, Cincinnati Enquire's questions for Chris. Chris, what was going through your mind those last 10 laps when Brandon Jones is basically less than 2 seconds, or 0.2 of a second behind you, basically the rest of the way?
Well, it's very nerve-wracking, and it's a lot of stress. But the thing that I kept going back to is that I just kept reminding myself, whenever I was in that position, I couldn't pass them. So that was the biggest thing. Whenever at the beginning of the race, when I was 3rd, I couldn't pass for 2nd. Whenever I lost the lead, I couldn't pass the leader. So that's what I kept reminding myself, is that, yeah, he'll be able to get to me because the trucks punch such a big hole in the air. You get big draft runs, and he'd be able to get to me. But I knew getting to me and passing me was 2 different things. So that was the biggest thing, just kept reminding myself how hard of a time I had passing the leader.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net and PRN. You spun early in the race. What went through your head? Did you think you had thrown it away at that point? Or did you feel like there was enough time, obviously, to come back?
I knew there was enough time to come back. At that point, I was nervous about crashing. A repave, this place is, we didn't really even know what was going on there as far as the track conditions. And 1 and 2 has a lot of grip, and it's really banked, it's really fast, it's really easy to run wide open. And that creates big draft runs by the time you get to turn 3. But then whenever you get to turn 3, the entry is fairly wide, and then all of a sudden you get into the corner, and there's a truck and a half wide of rubber there that you can run, and There's not enough room for 3 trucks, but a lot of guys tried to make room for 3 trucks, and it didn't work.
Bob Parkhurst, ESPN. Christopher, how big a win is this in the sense of when you won earlier this week at Macon, you're not having to worry about draft. You're not having to worry about break up a guy's draft, and here you are. I mean, it's such a different skill to kind of win this race today.
Yeah, it's special to me. I think that's something that I've excelled at throughout the course of my career is being successful in multiple types of cars. I feel like that's why I am here today. Same thing with Kyle Larson. That's why he is where he is today, is because he won in everything he got in. So I want to continue that on for my personal goals, to still continue to be able to win in everything I drive. And I've been fortunate enough to still have success in my roots in the midget racing, and finally starting to, I guess, get the feel of these trucks. And I got a pretty good crew chief that makes me look good.
Claude Thompson, Cincinnati Enquirer. Gragson got his first stage win, and he's a teammate of yours. So were you aware of how he was doing up there at the front of the race, and what does that mean for you to kind of have this team success?
I saw that, I saw he won the stage, which was good for him because he needed that confidence builder. Anytime you run up front, it's a huge confidence builder. What can I say, man? I mean, our KBM trucks are super, super fast. I think still to this day, we've won every mile and a half. We've won the pole for every mile and a half. We have really fast Tundras.
Go there too.
Aaron Bearden kicking the tires. Chris, just how difficult were the restarts to navigate today? I mean, there were issues all throughout. I think you had a run-in with Ben Rhodes during one of them. How hard was it to fight through the field when they were going so crazy on those restarts?
It was tough. The restarts bit me there when I was in the back, and I wasn't even trying to be aggressive. I was just trying to maintain, and next thing you know, middle of 3, and guys are on your door, and you're on the guy on the inside's door, and you're spinning out. So they were tough, but the biggest thing was just Rudy getting me out front. That was everything. It's tough to pass. Once I got out front, nobody could pass me. So that was key. Whenever I was 18th or 19th or wherever the heck I was, I didn't drive up to the field. I saw Kyle restarted 13th there on the last one, and I'm not sure where he ended up, but he didn't come and race me at the end. So the biggest thing was just getting out front.
Follow up?
Claude Thompson, Cincinnati Enquirer. So speaking of KBM, what's it like? How's it feel when Kyle Busch is out there driving behind you guys, and he helped Gragson get his stage win, but out there pushing you guys? What does that mean to have him out there on the field with you guys?
So going back to where I said how tough it was to pass, if there's a guy out there that's going to figure out how to pass, it'd be him. So I was pretty thankful to find out that the 46 wasn't in second with 10 to go, because if anybody was going to make it happen, he would. But the biggest thing is just going back to practice. This weekend was one of the weekends where we had data on the trucks. So we were able to lay my data on top of his data, and I'm able to see steering wheel tracing, foot pedal work to see where he's lifting, how much brake he's using, how much steering wheel angle he has, and then the engineers and crew chiefs are able to look at shock travel and splitter heights and all that kind of stuff. And it's just another truck out there, and the driver has extremely good feedback. So his feedback helps all of us too.
Bobby,
Bob Parker, ESPN. Chris, next race is Eldora. Just how much do you look to going back there in a truck, or do you not look back because it's so different than what you usually are running there?
Yeah, it's different. Honestly, it's not a lot of fun because the trucks are really hard to drive there. But I enjoy it because I have an advantage whenever I go there compared to the other guys. So it makes it a little bit more fun for me. But no, I call it the week of Eldora now because the last couple of years I've been able to run the Kings Royal and then the truck race. So the Kings Royal starts on Thursday, and then we go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the truck race is the following Tuesday, Wednesday. And the week of Eldora is my second favorite week of the year. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, behind Chili Bowl.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires.net, PRN again. We saw several spins, yours included. But this track going through the repave that it did, are the bumps out of it now? What is the track surface like during the race? Because there was some question on Twitter earlier tonight if the bumps were actually gone or if they still be one out there somewhere.
It's smooth as glass, absolutely smooth as glass. There's a couple bumps down the back straightaway, but it doesn't affect anything. When we get in the corners, it's totally smooth.
Anyone else? All right, Christopher, Rudy, thanks so much. Congratulations on a great one.